What is going on, everyone? It's your guy Cole Jackson back here on Road Graders, and we are going to be diving into the Road Graders today by diving into the guard competition. I don't even know if we can call this guard competition because it doesn't seem like there is a competition at right guard, but we are going to take a look at Andrew Voorhees and Ben Cleveland as well over the next couple of days, diving in to the trenches, the content you guys want. We're going to start today with FAALELE. A lot of talk about his play, including from myself. Obviously, you guys saw the PFF numbers. PFF giving him a 40.7 overall grade and a 0 in pass protection. So we want to kind of dive into that. He was credited with 2 pressures on 5 pass block attempts, 1 hurry and 1 sack. So we'll kind of break it all down for you. Going away from, the grading, it's obviously a small sample size. You have to factor that in, but let's take a look at the film. Let's see what looked different from last year, what looked the same, and sort of what to expect moving forward. Before we dive into it, thank you to One Bone for sponsoring this video. One Bone is my go-to for all big and tall menswear. It is clothing for the offensive line fan in mind. That is you guys. That is the Road Graders. Go over there, check it out, and use promo code ColeJackson15 to get 15% off your first purchase. Get over there, get the clothes on that the rest of O-Line Masterminds is wearing, and let's dive right into it. So we are going to start here with pass protection snaps, and I believe we start with the sack allowed. So I'm going to run it through, and let's go back and take a look at FAALELE. So big context note here is he does hit the center's foot, Bullock's foot. So, you got to factor that in. But even from the start of this rep, you can see how things were going poorly. So the first thing I want to focus on, just a sec, let me get this play button overlay away. So based on the pre-snap alignment, you had a wide tech here and you had a 3 tech here lined up. So automatically FAALELE is getting into space and he needs to protect that outside lane because with where the edge player is aligned, Rosengarten's going to be dropping vertically. That's exactly what happened. Now, we'll take a look after about Rosengarten and Ali. Not so much Rosengarten. Ali missing this chip and kind of what happened there because 2 guys get in on Cooper Rush. But the big question is what happened to FAALELE? So you can see right off the snap, FAALELE's up high, and that is because, and I should cut this off poorly. So he's going to get that step, and he's going to get basically just bull rushed. So starting out wide, good God, did I ever cut this poorly? Sorry, guys. And I shouldn't even have said 3 tech. He's aligned as a 4 tech. You can see here, and this is really important because he's going to slant inwards. So FAALELE needs to take that wide step. There's that nice wide base that you would usually like to see, but you need to keep that butt dropped to be able to anchor, and you need to be able to shoot those hands to be able to grab the chest. He obviously gives up his chest, and the slant comes inwards. So he gets popped here, and you can see right there. This is not the position we want. Hands are wide. Can't see his left hand, but it's wide too. Hands on the shoulder pads, chest exposed. Lower man is the defensive player. When you are a 6'8" offensive guard, you need to play with leverage. This is not playing with leverage. This is the complete opposite. Playing too high, giving up your chest. So automatically, and you can see Bullock's foot there, that's where he's going to get driven into, but that's kind of the key. So as much as you want to say he got tripped, he got driven backwards, which he shouldn't be doing because he's getting driven back into the pocket, and it's a loss even if you take away the trip. So we keep rolling here a little bit. There you can see him opening up that outside lane because he has no leverage, and there's that extension from the defensive player. So he extended him inwards, which is where the trip comes from. So as much as he might have gotten tripped, he gets tripped because he gets jolted and then driven and then given up for the sack. Now, to go look at, I want to focus on the right tackle situation because I know people were kind of panicking about Rosengarten. So what's going to happen here is you're going to get a vertical drop from Roger Rosengarten and you're going to get a chip from the running back. When there's a designed chip, the right tackle is going to stay narrow. He's going to stay low because if he drops too much, he's going to run into the running back's chip. So he's going to naturally push him outside and push him upfield so that he can push him into the chip. So when we roll it through, you can see right there, he's pushing him. But the problem is Ali's chip turned into a pick and roll on his own guy, and open that up. So I don't really put that on Rosengarten. I don't really give him a negative play there. Using the context of that, you can see right there, Ali, chipped through his hands and didn't even hit him. So that's the first snap there for FAALELE, and that's a tough one. It's I know a lot of people were hoping that he just got tripped, not a big deal, but the reality is, once again this year, he's giving up his chest. He's playing too high. He's not playing with leverage. All issues that we saw last year that don't seem to be necessarily fixed. Now we're going to see a play action concept where FAALELE needs to pull. So you're going to see him pull outside, and this is the hurry that got charged. It's a play action. It's not a big deal. But when I talk about FAALELE not fitting the scheme and having issues, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. You need a guard that can pull out there quickly and play fluidly to get after that edge player. At the end of the day, it's a rollout. It's not a huge deal. I wouldn't even really it probably gets charged with a hurry there, but really at the end of the day, on a rollout, you're going to be turning and throwing the ball, but it's still a missed block. We wanted to kind of capture that. He only had 5 pass blocks. We've seen 2. Keep rolling here. You're going to see a bit of a better play here. Ball comes out quick. And I like this. So this is a lot more what you want. You can see those hands firing. But once again, and this is just kind of there's no negative event here. There's no pressure given up. But right here, we're playing with erratic hands again. You can see one white mitt there, one white mitt there. And this is why it's so important to look at snaps, even if there's not necessarily an outcome, because we want to focus in on the technique. What's happening that causes issues other times? And this is some of the stuff, hand placement, some of that stuff that really comes from coaching. I expected to be cleaned up, and it's why I'm a little bit more disappointed. I know a lot of people think I'm kind of overboard on FAALELE, but this is stuff that we're going into year 4. I thought this stuff would start to clean up. So hands are wide, and then gives up his chest there. See, that hand's almost up on his helmet. Just constantly playing with wild hands. But to his credit, good footwork there. I'll give him credit there. Absolutely good footwork to recover, stay in front of his man, and be able to move. So, not the end of the world, but, just one of those things where, again, hand placement's still an issue going into year 4, year 2 of a starting guard. Just not stuff I'd like to see. And then here, good hold on this, but again, we're slow getting out. We want to get out there wider. We're lunging a little bit, and the hands just aren't necessarily where we want, because here's where the contact point's going to happen. And, he's working upfield over top of his kick step, but you ideally want him one step over so that he can square him up, because as he's going to push through here, if he gets there a little bit quicker, this is where you get a holding call, right? He's got that hand inside. He's leaning down on him. I think he did just enough to recover, so I'll give him credit there. But, that's awfully close to being a holding call. So even on reps with not necessarily a bad outcome, I'm still seeing things I don't necessarily love. So overall in pass protection, we looked at 4 of his 5 reps. PFF gave him a 0, probably because there was a sack in there. But just not good reps, not looking clean. The other one was a play action play where he just kind of down blocked. Not necessarily, good or bad. Now, in the run game, so let's find some positives. Let's look at, a complete objective picture so that we're not just being negative here. Run game was a little bit better. So we look at some of these runs. There's a nice down block. He's going to jump across. I thought he did a really good job here. I think he plays with a lot more quickness in this. So this is just going to be a power play. So you're going to get down blocks from the right side of your line and Voorhees pulling around. So you can see FAALELE across to the nose guard, and you see him pop right there. I'd like to see him drive him a little bit more, but I'm not going to be too picky. He cut across quick. He played with quickness. I think that's a win. Another rep here. You're going to get, this is going to be a nice little toss, pin, and pull. And what we want from FAALELE is to essentially cut off the 2-eye technique in front of him. And I think he does a good job here. Again, look at that quickness. Plays with quick. He turns around. You'll see some guys where they get someone in front of them and they'll just box them out like this. I would have preferred he just kind of stayed with the box out method rather than spin in a circle, but not the end of the world. But, more importantly, he's playing with quickness in the run game. I think that's generally a very big positive, especially on those pin and pull plays, because he's got to get out of his, if he could do that in the pass game, I think he'd go a long way. I've been harping on this for a long time. number one rule in pass protection, get out of your stance, right? But I'm seeing him in the run game get out of his stance and play with a little bit more quickness. I think that's a positive. Let's take that positive. Now, here is just a beautiful play. This is just great blocking. This is going to be an outside zone play. Good read by Keaton Mitchell, but again, good quickness by FAALELE. He's going to start with, he's got, 3 tech in front of him. He's got to cut off that shoulder. It's outside zone. So he's got to work that outside shoulder, turn him in. That's exactly what I'd be asking of him. And look at that. Turns him in, takes him out of the play, seals him, takes him completely out of the play. He wasn't even a chase down tackler. Great play by FAALELE. No doubt about it. That's a plus block. That's not just a regular block. That was a highlight block in my opinion, because does everything, but he gets the turn. Just job well done. Get into a couple others here. Yeah, we're going to get into a couple of the negative blocks that I saw still. So we're going power left on this play. So we just kind of looked at it from the other side. So we're going to get down blocks from this side of the line and FAALELE as the puller. You can kind of see how we have Wallace down here as a stacked up wide receiver. You can get Kohler right here. So they got to kick out their guys as well. When FAALELE pulls based on the pre-snap alignment, because you're going to get kickouts here, you're going to get down blocks here. It's probably going to be this linebacker coming down. So as that happens, right there, there's that linebacker. It's coming in to fill in the gap, the C gap beside the left tackle. FAALELE's got to come up and jolt him. You come up and you jolt him. You see Wallace kind of losing his leverage on the outside. You see Kohler getting a nice kick out there. That's what needs to happen. But Keaton Mitchell has to cut because FAALELE goes for Wallace's guy. Now, I understand. You're coming into the gap, and there's 2 guys. But you got to trust in a man blocking scheme that Wallace is going to, wash his guy and Keaton Mitchell can cut. FAALELE needs to get upfield and take out his guy. Instead, he's going to pop him, and now Keaton Mitchell, ends up with, no gap there. And then Kohler loses at the end. So that's sort of what happens there. So it's just, again, on these pulls, I'd like to see him play a lot more fast, a lot more decisive, instead of, getting into the gap and kind of hesitating. I think that's still happening. And again, we've seen him play quick there. You see him play slow there. It's a little bit of a mixed bag. And then on this one, just, and this is both Voorhees and FAALELE, just bad guard play here. See him get no drive, end up on the ground. Those are just situations where I'd like to see more drive. Right here, he's going to come across. We want to see him with that head on the inside, sealing that inside shoulder, driving down. It's a split block, so it's inside zone blocking. You got your split blocker coming across to take out the backside player right here. Everything works pretty well, but your guard's just not getting any push in the run game. So overall, definitely some issues I saw in this game with FAALELE. Most notably concerned about the pass blocking. It was rough, 0.0 given by PFF. Kind of justified by what I saw. I really didn't like it. Didn't see much improvement from last year in pass protection. In the run game, though, definitely give him credit, playing with a little bit more quickness, though still some work to be done in that area. So that's what I have for you guys. If you guys enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you're new here. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think of FAALELE and the guard competition. And as always, be good to yourselves, be good to each other. Peace out, everyone.